Assalamualaikum, and this is the flow chart for LAB2 part 1. So this is for part 1 question number 1, which is the question: the connection of LEDs in the multifunction expansion board is shown in figure 2. Based on the figure, write a program using STM32F446RE microcontroller assembly language that will blink LEDs D1, D2 and D3. So this is the flow chart, which is, of course, we will begin with start, and then we will enable port A and port B as an output, and then the LED 1, 2 and 3 will turn on, and the process will repeat at the same, and it will go into the end. So this is the flow chart for part 1 question number 3, which is the question said modify the program so that the LED will turn on one by one starting from LED 1 until LED D4. So this is the flow chart. It's quite the same, just like the first one. It will begin with start, and when we enable port A and port B as an output, and then we just change in the diamond, just like before this. It will turn on, just turn on, and but now it will gradually turn on, which is LED 1, 2, 3 and 4 will turn on gradually, and the process will repeat, and then it will going to the end of the process.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. My name is Hariz, and I'm going to explain about part 2, about all the codings. Okay, as we can see, we were asked to do these three conditions, where the first condition is when the S1 is being pressed, LED D1, D2 and D3 will blink, and when the S2 is being pressed, LED D1 until D4 will turn on one by one. And then the last one was when no push button being pressed, all LEDs are turned off. Okay, so this is the coding that we did. Okay, let me explain for the first part, which is before the main part. Okay, first we declare GPIO A, model, BSR and IDR, and also ODR, and then we declare GPIO B, model, ODR and BSRR. Why do we declare this? Because we want to use port A and port B. Okay, then this is in for the main part. We use LDR R4 and equals to RCC AH B1ENR. This is all of the first coding is to enable GPIO A and GPIO B clock, and then we use ORR and STR, and then we continue by setting the pin A to output mode, because we want to make pin A and pin B become our output mode. So we have to write this coding. Again, we use LDR, and then we use BIC, ORR and STR. Okay, and then for pin B, we set pin B to output mode, because we just use two port, which is pin A and pin B. And then okay, again we use the same thing as pin A, LDR, BIC, ORR and STR. And then we declare GPIO A model. Okay, we set pin A to input mode just by using BIC and STR. Okay, for this part is ulang. Okay, Okay, for the first part, we must do the masking first. Okay, for this one, we read from the push button in GPIO-A and copy to R0. So R4 is stored in R0 lah. Okay, then we do the masking, and then we CMP, we compare. Is it the push button is pushed? If do so, we'll go to LED blink that perform condition 1 where the condition wants us to blink the LED. So when it comes here, we'll go down here, which is LED blink, and then as you can see, we use LDR, GPIO-A, BSSR to complete the condition 1. So this is where the LED blink lah. So we use STR, MOV, and then delay. For delay, the blink must have delay, because if no, we cannot see the difference between is it blinking or it will only turn on. And then we use ODR, okay, and then delay, again delay, and then we'll go back to ulang, means it will go back here, and because this is actually a loop, right? So we want to make this process continue, that's why we make a loop, so it become easier. Okay, let me continue. So this is GPIO-A IDR. So read from a push button, GPIO, again GPIO-A is copied to R0, and then again we do the masking and compare R0 and R2. Is it the push button is pushed? If yes, okay, we'll go to LED on, where the condition 2, where LED is turned on one by one, LED D1 to D4. Okay, we go here, LED on. Okay, we use LDR, mostly we use LDR. So we set GPIO-A ODR and GPIO-B ODR. So this is the coding to let LED D1, D2 and D3, D4. Okay, this one is for D1, and this one is for D2, and this one is for D3, and then it's for D4 to turn on one by one. There is also again there are delay in between 4 LED, so that it will be not so fast. Okay, and then we go back to ulang. And then if we did not perform condition 1 and did not perform condition 2, where condition 3, where all the switch is not being pressed, and all LED will turn off. So here we continue here, we use LDR, R4, GPIO-A, BSSR, and then it's like if we learn C++ programming or C programming, this is like if statement, this is the else statement lah, because it's different from other if statement. Okay, so this is else, perform condition 3, where all the LED is turned off. Okay, actually this is a typo. Actually the coding is until here only. Okay, then that's all lah for part 2. I hope you guys enjoy watching this. Okay, thank you very much to madam. Hope we can see another time, another year. Okay.
So this is the flowchart for part 2. As you can see, of course, it will begin with start, and then we will enable port A and port B as output, and then it will read from the push button in GPIO. If switch 1 is pressed, the LED D1, D2 and D3 will blink. If S2 is pressed, the LED D1, D2, D3 and D4 will turn on gradually, else all LED will turn off and then the process will go to the end.